Right. Hello, hello, hello. Go. Sorry, just trying to get this over here. All right. So, whoops, already jumping ahead there. All right. So right now, only biggest mover on the board right now is the Aussie. We mentioned this being a week-based trade last night. We got a nice little pop down from it when it came out. Some other data out there. Some Chinese data a little bit better than expected. Again, it was above 50. No change there. I'm sorry, that was yesterday. That was late last night. I was talking about this. Um, As far as the data today, it comes in the next 25 minutes. So we'll see. Services was expected to increase above 50. Again, if it comes in at 51.9 or 51.7, doesn't change much. It just shows an expansion out there and services. It'd be interesting to see if that comes out. Right after that, we have the JOLTS data. I mean, like obviously, same time. Again, 9.3 shows a little bit of a slowdown. There was another, I guess, portfolio manager article that I saw yesterday that basically says the US has to cut 5 times next year to avoid a recession. And it's funny when you have portfolio managers being the people that do that. We have things at all-time highs and surging back again, and it's the portfolio managers are like, yeah, if people feel like the market is good, they'll give me more money, right? Cutting 5 times next year. Somebody else said 6, but he said 5 times. Saying basically that the Fed is delusional and they're not in touch with reality. I was like, huh, okay, all right. I mean, thus far the economy has done quite well. There was the talk forever that it was going to be really really super hard landing, and then it was going to be a soft landing, and now we don't hear anything about landings, right? Um, and we're still trying to get back to the number where we need to get to, and they've mentioned that it'll take 2 years to get there. But again, people are calling for 5 cuts next year. I was like, what? And again, I don't know if this is like the shock jock mentality or what it is, but yeah. So that's 2 in 2 days that I saw. One guy said, what did I say yesterday? Was it 6? 6 cuts next year, and another guy just said 5 cuts next year have to come in. Meanwhile, we're still, seeing inflated food prices. Again, there's about to be I think major drama with energy prices, right? And then we're gonna weaken the dollar more. So yeah, I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't know where a lot of these guys get everything, but again, I think the biggest number today is going to be the JOLTS openings. Um, you know, Looking for jobs. There was an article yesterday. I didn't get to read it. I saw it and I forgot about it until just now. Talking about the hidden job market, that there's all these job openings, but yet people can't find jobs, right? And I think the reason, I think some of it goes back to, and I said this before, there was like the silent quitting, that whole phenomenon we saw, like the silent quitting. There was and again, my family took advantage of it. Melissa took advantage of it, right? People were going to pay stupid money for people to jump because they needed people, right? After COVID. Um, and there's opportunity there. If you struck on it, awesome, right? You did a good job. But people think that still exists, and it doesn't. They've said that that ship has sailed. It's over. If you didn't take advantage of it, it's too late now. There's nothing else there. But people are still looking at that. So people can't find jobs, but it's people can't find jobs for what they think that they are. Again, it's supply and demand, right? Um, when they really really needed people, they were paying people to jump because they wanted highly qualified people to kind of again in kind of the new economy. Well, they're not willing to pay that anymore. So just because you can't find jobs doesn't mean there's not jobs available. But again, it's kind of like striking, right? You can strike for only so long, right? Companies are surviving; they're able to kind of push it elsewhere. But if you strike, you don't get a paycheck either. And people right now, again, having 9.3. I mean, yeah, this looks like the job market's cooling, but that's 9.31 million job openings, right? That's a lot of job openings, right? To say that that's it, we're going into a recession. These are gone, right? Um, so yeah, yeah. So that's a big one today. And then later tonight we have some more Aussie data. Again, GDP point 0.4, not great, not horrible, not crazy bad. In the overnight, again, we have some OPEC plus, comments. Countries are ready to strengthen oil production cuts. You can see Putin and Saudi Arabia, right? They're discussing OPEC plus cooperation. Here it is, right here. The Fed's disconnected with reality. Oh, here, 5 times next year. And of course, it's a portfolio manager, right? Yep, portfolio manager. I manage your money, so I need the market to keep going higher, so you feel confident, right? Yeah, yeah. I don't know, crazy. But we have obviously we knew OPEC. Again, we know that it's crazy, right? What's crazy about this is Biden is very anti-oil, right? No, we got to get rid of it. Climate change, climate change. Yet we go to the climate change conference and there's a signed petition against the United States because we are producing and creating infrastructure for natural gas because we don't run Russia to get credit, be able to sell it. But we're considered the biggest outliners as far as climate change right now. But yet we are now producing record amounts of oil to combat Saudi Arabia. So climate change, bad, but we're going to produce more oil because we don't want Saudi Arabia to keep selling it. Um, and what is it doing? It's kind of again OPEC plus. It's driving again our used to be our biggest ally in that area into Russia's hands. So again, countries now are, and again, Saudi Arabia is settling things that are, settling contracts in non-dollar transactions at this point. And we talk about the hierarchy of the dollar and the debt we run and everything else, and balanced budgets and stuff like that. Guess what? If the dollar isn't needed to backstop the world, if they're willing to do it with other currencies, why keep the dollar in that position? It loses us a lot of strength very, very fast. And then we're in crazy inflation time. So yeah, there's a lot there. A lot of these small things. Overall, um, here you go. No one was willing to pay 1.5 million for the wrecked Wolf of Wall Street, the Lamborghini. Um, so really, that's the Aussie story last night was the bigger move on the board. I think everything's waiting for the dollar right now. If you look at the VIX, we kind of flatlined. We hopped up at the end of the day, which is not uncommon, and then it just kind of more or less flatlined. A little bit of a rally, 5 o'clock this morning, but not too much, right? So we'll see. Ooh, it's a little hot, a little hot. Dollar. It's basically where it was yesterday. Right. Yesterday morning, we were sitting here. We kind of punched higher. We went a little bit up again. We kind of drove back down in the overnight. Again, profit taking coming in. And then we drove back up again. And, question is this level of this 103.85, is this really going to hold this time? You know, I mean, sellers only last for so long. Smash, 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 smash in there. Um, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Keep hearing these comments. Everybody, they're cutting, they're cutting, they're cutting, they're cutting, but yet the dollar is continuing to ride up again. I feel like this is another one of those cases where the market is like, nah, they're not going to raise interest rates again. They're definitely not going to do it, and then we raised it three more times, and now the market is fully in belief that um, we're going to cut five times, we're going to cut six times, no, we're going to cut seven times next year, and then all of a sudden it's going to roll in, and the Fed's going to follow the same plan that they've told us for the last year, that we're going to hold it here for quite some time. Probably not until the end of next year, that it's way too premature to even start talking about cutting. But if you got people saying, hey, we're cutting five times next year, when exactly the five times in a row do you think? Is it going to be a free for all of rates? Right? Is it going to be a free fall? I don't know how they think that they're going to get five in. I just don't know. Um, Especially with the Fed saying it's way too premature to even start talking about cutting it. Right? We got to figure out how long we're going to hold first, and we're going to hold it here for a while. We don't even know if we're fully at done yet. It seems like the general feeling is most likely, yeah, they are done raising, but are they at the stage now where it's like, nope, that's it. We're going to start cutting right away? No, no, they're still worried about did they cut too early? Not did we cut? Did we raise enough, or did we stop too early? Right? Did we prematurely when we thought we got control over this? So. We'll see. I think being poised up here is very telling in the markets. Now, indices, again, people are talking. Hey, I don't know. Maybe it's the fear. They're like, oh my God, somebody on CNBC said we're going into a recession next year. Maybe that's what it is. But overall, you're seeing all the indices down. Russell down 1.25% already. Kind of a big jump. Everything else a 0.25%. Not too bad. Commodities. Oil up, and we kind of expected that. Natural gas was down huge yesterday, and said, "Hey, don't be surprised if it's up tomorrow." And it is. Is it any big shock? No, not really. Now, gold and silver also tearing back down. We're back under that, 2025. We're back under 2022. We are, we're closer to 24 than 25 now. They're both pushing down. They're both in working order, right? Point 0.3, point 0.3, point 0.9. Again, should be double. It's a little bit more than that, but it's fine. Overall, not bad where we are. And again, seeing that dollar rise up, this may be a premature rise if that, the JOLTS data comes in super crazy. But at the same time, if it comes in at like an 8.9, I'd be willing to bet that there's an adjustment next time. That it was just a little bit too much, right? A little bit too far. So, yeah, it's there. It's like, we'll see. Um, yeah, whatever. It is what it is. So yeah, with it rallying up again, the question is this the pre-news move for a short? And it could. I mean, in all honesty, it could be. But overall, the consensus really from late last night and really the European market was send it down, and then it's just been rallying up, 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 up all day. So again, 24 is in range. You can see we're heading pretty strong in the last area buyers. We'll see what this news does. I'll tell you right now, if this news comes in and say this is like a 9.4, right, or 9.51 or something like that. If it's any number above this, even if it's like a 9.35, maybe like, oh, it's less, but it's anything stronger. Say it's a 9.4. I think that sends us to 104, right? I think that, again, you can see it pushing high. I think that sends us up to 104. Okay. Um, you can see it's kind of taken off early. I'm like, I wonder if somebody is seeing the data, right? Right. I wonder if somebody's seeing the data and this moves already, because this is a lot of movement right before that, right? What are we getting right here, right? Upturn in business supports growth in November, right? Seeming reports highest ever November. Numbers of contracts, yeah, a lot of trading. So yeah, pushing really, really quickly. All right. But overall, gold and silver where they are. I mean, silver's down 1.3%. So we'll see if this is this could be a very, very quick change, right? This may be nothing but manipulation in the markets. But at the same time, it could just be the data out early, right? It could be the data out early. But we are past now. We're past the pivot. We know we got a bunch of chops in here, but really, I guess once it passes, what, 91? So it is. It hits at 91. It's already hit these guys. So we could be clear all the way up to, I don't know, 104.15 ish. If this is like, you know, crazy data. So I don't know. We'll see. We're gonna get in a few minutes here. Let's go over the Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar is pretty easy to talk about. So yesterday we were talking about this coming up. Maybe like two. If it did continue to advance higher at 2 o'clock, look for a push down again. It didn't. All it did was kind of Harry Potter. It kind of came back and pulled back again. There's a base below it here, and we talked about zone here, zone here. Look to see what it does before the news. And all it did was it rallied back up, kind of pushed down. Before the news came out, it did punch higher, and then boom, we talked about getting short this one. Overall, this played out pretty well. I mean, we hit this level, we hit it again, and then it pushed back up through. I mean, it really needed to bust through, and then it kind of came all the way down and hit this level, and then it hit and bounced, and then all finally punch through. Right. So right now, looking at the left, right, we know we're at the 71 again. Not a big deal for us. A lot of basing, a lot of chopping here. We really kind of need this to go farther down, and we talked about that level yesterday, right? I'll just get this across. This is really kind of where we need to get to before there's a decent level. Is there buyers here? Absolutely. Sure. Yeah. Absolutely some buyers in there. Um, are they the highest quality, best buyers in the world? We love those. That's the only way to go right there. No. No. Very sideways, very choppy through there. So not really not the area we're looking for reversals. Now I know we are coming into US news now, and you could say, well, wait a second, is there a buy in there? Not really. I mean, you could say, and here's why. I mean, looking at like the original base right here, there's one, there's two, there's three, there's a little bit of a four there. And you can see we're starting the base above it. Typically a pretty good telltale sign that it's going to go farther. So now with that said, it has pushed rather deep. We can take this one off. That other one was off as well. We can run this from top to bottom. You can see right now the 23 is really kind of lining up right here. Let's pull these off because again we hit this. Let's get this off to clean it. You can see there's a lot of basin sitting right here around where that 23 mark is. So if this is the bottom and maybe this news helps push us up just a little bit, not a bad level to start doing some selling, right? Not a bad level to start doing some selling. Yeah. So again, 12 minutes before news, is there a trade here? Not really. If we're down here, maybe. I mean, how much does it got to go? It's got to go 32. I don't think we're going 32 pips in 12 minutes. It's over a 4-hour move in that time frame. But maybe this helps drive us down, and then we start to reverse back again. Maybe we get a push, and then we see it start to turn and roll. Again, there is some GDP data tonight, so we definitely have some news releases on this one. But right now, again, we talked about it. The drop was right here, by the way. Here's the punch up, and then here was the drop. Talking 35 pips, so it was over. It was 1.5 times a 4-hour ATR. So a nice little move. I mean, kind of expected. I'd say more than anything else, like we did expect that one. So yeah, right now, again, I still like this one down. We'll see if this one jacks it around any bit. If anything, I think, I kind of feel like this Jolts data, maybe they hit it dead on, but I think it pushes. I think we push a little bit more to the downside. I think we got some space there. Also, yen, same thing. We talked about maybe if we're down there, look for it. Once it started the base here and rally back up again, you had to be thinking, hey, take this one short. Um, we hit the profit target from yesterday and we said, hey, listen, if we drive down, if the hour and a half beforehand drives us into that zone and we start basing, look for a long trade. And we didn't. We drove down and then we started the base above, putting sellers in, and then it held and maintained above the zone. You're like, oh, it's going to crack it. And it did. We talked about Aussie weakness, and it did. It punched through, kind of rallied back. And here, let me take some of these off just so it's easier to see. We don't need it now because that zone's just right above it. You can see there's a basing level right there, and we actually hit the lower level, which we had mentioned, pulled back, grabbed it, and then there's another continuation. So a number of different trades in this one, right? Basically, also weakness across the board. And you can see right now, if I bring this down from top to bottom, that 23 also is kind of sitting back in a level, sitting right there. So kind of sets us up for another push. If we rally up because of this news, and again, maybe the yen helps us get up that high, there's not a bad little trade coming in here short to the downside. So, overall, we've been bearish. Again, it's 11 pips. So I kind of like this one. Yeah. Um, Pull this one off now too. Let's see. We came down. We touched that target. That's out. Let's pull some of these off. There, and you can see this is what we're dealing with on the left, right? So we're dealing with. Overall. 30. So it's a 4-hour move. 36. Hmm. I, don't- you know, with the news tonight, I almost kind of want this to go higher. I would like this. 7:32, so it's earlier. Yeah, like if this comes in at like a point 0.3. Yeah, I'm kind of. That would be nice. I would like that. If we can get the news right now, it really kind of sets the yen off, and we can kind of get this to push higher. Um, that would not be bad. I'd be okay with that, right? I'd be okay with that. Looking for that push higher. Um, yeah, yeah. We'll see. I mean, again, the news comes out in 7 minutes. We could punch again. It could give the yen some strength in there and weakness. But with the data out tonight, I almost kind of want this to reverse. And not that it's Australian strength, but it's kind of like, hey, listen, give us the profit taking from this big decline last night. Have it kind of push back up again in time for the news tonight when this GDP number comes out, and then have us drive that right back down again. Maybe if it comes in as a point 0.3, maybe if it comes in a point 0.4, and it really shows some slowing, right? They're not cruising the way they were before, and they, God forbid, mentioned something. Again, that can give us that continued Aussie weakness, and I think that's the right call. We mentioned Aussie weakness yesterday, and I think, you know, I really think that's the right call for Aussie right now. So yeah, I don't know, kind of, need to call my people, right? See if we can get just a little bit more rally up. Although with the raising up into the zone, it's looking like it's going to be more of a short. But yeah, if we can get up there, this may be one you watch later on today too. Right, if we do have a reversal and later on today, maybe it comes down again, maybe it punches down and then it starts to kind of slowly revert back again. But in time for tonight, I think this 96.77 is definitely a level to watch out for. If it goes lower, we'll lose the 23 assistance. But right now, it's a decent drop. Base, little punch down, came back up in a low confirmed level right there, and tack on the 23.6. Kind of like those things. Those are decent levels to watch out for. Now, euro dollar. Euro dollar, we're playing, and we talked about it going down and kind of coming up. So with this one actually base below, right? We can see the chop that came up and then the base happened lower. And we're like, hey, listen, somewhere in here look for this to drop down. Two things. There's the base here, so we may not be triggered yet. Or if you took the top base up here, you could say that, hey, listen, there was the base right there, right? There was the base right there. Again, I'm trying not to have it do this thing. That's only about 8 pips. Maybe you take the base there. That puts it right at 10. And then you look for 30 in the other direction. 30 is sitting right there. So there would have been actually your actual entry. And we were looking for it. Just this is not the base we're looking for. Then there's a base here, but once it comes back up again, it's like, oh, it's forming a base up top that resets this bottom piece, right? So it happened. It's still short. We'll see if this news will drive it even further down. But you've had two opportunities, one here, one here. Both of them are out. At 10 for 30. Again, a lot of this is looking for that base. And here's your midnight. And again, here's your like 4:30 in the morning. It pushed back up and decent spot. So not much to do with it now. It literally just came out on the second side. You probably just took profit target. And again, with news in 5 minutes, you absolutely want to make sure you take profit before then. You definitely want to make sure that you are out. I think is there any this is what we have right now. We're playing in this round right now. So 70 pips. So yeah, got about another day's worth of movement. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, right now the trade is done. It's out. Like I said, we were looking for the basing yesterday. We did have a base lower, but when it came back up and started the base above the zone, you're like, oh, there we go. Now, and the crazy part is the 1 and 3 didn't even need to break the bottom base down here. So you almost could be set up for another one. Maybe if we get a little pop down, look for a little retracement, and we can take a second one. But a 10 for 30 is pretty decent. Euro pound. Totally asleep. This one is asleep at the wheel, right? We're talking about a 13, 14 pip zone sideways. We were sitting right here yesterday. What are we like? 2 pips away, 3 pips away, 8. So we're 8 away, but it is, I don't want to say it's rallying in the last hour, but it's green for the last hour. But 8 pips in 24 hours, and it's really almost dead on. I guess the lower's up here, but then it started to pop. So yeah, we're kind of right there. Again, I think overall in this one, we are looking more for European strength to kind of roll back in. We know there's a level there it's hit and it's been supported, but we need some type of data. We just don't necessarily have it right now. It's okay. I mean, it's all right. I don't know. It's fine. Um, it's whatever. It's whatevs. Sorry about that. I moved and pulled the cord out. Normally that's a kip thing, but yeah. So no movement. Again, we put a top and a bottom. We were unable to get back down to that bottom yesterday. Again, didn't even really have a clean red, green, red in that one, unfortunately. And then it literally just turned sideways. So nothing crazy. Euro yen. So you can see yesterday, 3 a.m. we hit the bottom. We came back down and we talked about this level here. This was a level where we had saw a little bit of retracement, right? But we said overall 158 was probably going to be the goal. It didn't matter. Couldn't get past this one. It came down and hit it, went right back up, found the sellers. Came back up, grabbed it again, came back up in here. So we'll see. This one should get some yen helping a little bit. And we'll see if it's going to be yen strength, yen weakness. We can adjust this slightly. We can bring it to here and you can see, look at this 23 mark, right? See the 23 in there? Right now, the 23 is kind of, again, it's supporting that line, right? I think that's kind of what that zone looks like right now. Is it the best zone? That's not bad. I mean, it's just a little bit past the 23, so you got to give a little bit of a buffer. It is a drop of base and not the best leaving. And again, kind of the confirmation, but here's absolutely confirmation with a nicer push. So, if we get what's considered yen weakness coming in and we see a little bit of a burst, that's not a bad spot. Overall, I still think, again, we're at 159 right now. Obviously, there's magnetic attraction towards that round number. And that's why we've been playing with here. That's why we're playing with it here. That's also why it was a problem back here, right? Because it's that 159 mark. Right now, it looks like it's forming more sellers. It looks like it will have an easier path to go to the downside. It is a mirror bottom here, so they're dead on. I'd like to see it push a little bit lower. I'd like to see it get down to 158 before we start to see any type of reversal. And again, we should see some yen strength based off of euro strength based off the euro pound, but it's not, not an ideal spot. So, all right, let's see here. Sterling close to 3-month high versus the euro. Yeah, we just talked about that. as markets bet on ECB rate cuts. Yeah, that's good. That will really jerk that one around. And I agree with this as well too. They were so delayed because of Ukraine. They never got to where we were, and they had so many problems because there's so many different nations over there, and the German numbers have just sucked. All right, here we go. Getting some movement. This one's come on. See some dollar strength coming in. So ISM came in better than expected, and again, is 52.2 and 52.7. Does it really tell you that much? Not really. Not much. Looks like the yen is strengthening a little bit over here. Looks like the dollar's going up here. Okay, so that's a good drop, right? 8.7 is a great drop, but is that 8.7 a real number? Last time it was supposed to, the forecast was here and it came in way higher, and then they gave us a forecast of up. You know, is it cooling? Sure. Yeah, I'd say it's cooling, but again, you know, I would actually say that I would not be surprised whatsoever if that number gets adjusted higher next time. I think that's too big of a drop. Um, Again, not quite consistent. And again, there was no adjustment last time. The 9.55 was dead on last time. You can see how often, you know, there are misses, they change it. The fact that they did not change that one when they typically always change it, right? And then they expected it to be a little drop. This is quite a large drop, right? Versus the expectation and the pit. So I wouldn't be surprised if that adjusts up next time. So, and let's see. Let's see. Yeah. The yen's getting a little bit of strength in there. Let's see. Let's see what's the dollar doing. Yeah, nice push down. That's the initial response to it. I don't disagree with that because it's a big miss. I don't think it's going to be a permanent miss though. I think they'll adjust that one higher next time. So we'll see. So again, so what that was that rallying up again was somebody knowing what the numbers were. They were rallying up in preparation for a dollar short on that one. So we'll see. That's actually works out well for this Aussie position. So now we're pushing back up. So here's the thing. Something like this Aussie position right now, we are seeing it punch up, right? That's an emotional response. That's why that candle's there. Is it going to change much as the Fed's doing? No. Are there more people looking for jobs and job openings? Nope. Nope. So at this point now, we are looking for a reversal and a turn back to the downside. How much did I say this level was? No, it's only like 9. It's not big. So I'd be looking for a reversal when we kind of punch through the bottom side of this one and give it a little bit of time, right? It's gonna need a little bit just to get all those retail traders out of this position. But when we finally get that top in there and a roll back down again, I actually like this one short. Maybe we just don't get the reversal today. Maybe it's going to be a weird day, and everybody's like, "That's it, slam the dollar. The dollar's done. They're going to cut interest rates." Which again, that data has, yeah, it's slowed, but again, how many people are looking for jobs versus how many job openings are there, and how fast can we eat up that many jobs? Yeah, is it still going to take 2 years? I don't know. Does it affect the Fed that much? So another thing too, let me bring on this one is we don't need this. The fact that we just drove this down, I don't know why I missed this one right now. If for some reason today we're just going to smoke the dollar all day, there is another level sitting right there at the 50, which may not be bad. If we just go up for this news release, so I think there's a couple different possibilities in this one now. Now, for it to reach that level, it is going to take another 44 pips. It's only got a 64 pip daily ATR, so that would kind of be like from news all the way up would be 1 day's worth of movement. That's 70 pips of that zone. Kind of a lot on that data because that's not really, it's not there. But all the retail traders, all the talking heads being like, "Oh my God, look at that. The economy's it's dying." Yeah, it is, but then this data was really good, right? And what is this showing us? Industry expansion. So industry services is expanding, not showing recession necessarily over here, right? But yet this one, right? So the big question will be, and labor turnover, where's the labor turnover? Yeah, look, it changed little. So did much really change? Not really, right? So if the hires and separations were little changed, right, at 5.9 respectively, within separations, quits, and layoffs, little change. Yeah, look, little change. So did much happen? Is there much slowdown? No, they're just not posting as many jobs, right? Higher separation total from the last business day. The number of job openings decreased, right? So again, separations, hires didn't change, no slowdown there. And job openings, again, there's not posting as many. Still 8.7 job openings out there. So again, should it really change much? Nah, not really. So again, wait for the emotional drama to turn and flip a lot of these things out there. And again, it's there. It's come on, just maybe that would push us down. I just feel like it's not going to last that much longer. Yeah. Again, as expected, we drove it down. It actually ended up using that zone, which is not bad. I actually In all honesty, I think this is great. I think this is awesome. You know why? Because we had one, we had two, we kind of had a front run, we kind of had a front run over here. The fact that we actually dove into there means all these front runners, the buyers that were trying to front run this zone, are now officially out. They are gone. So it's spiking up. You can see it's coming back again. I think this is great. The alert is still on this one. I think we look to take this one down. We can bring this over here, right there, and we're looking for potential profit targets somewhere down here. I'm good with this one. I like this. Once this turns and flips, right? Right now it's still emotional, right? Weak dollar. But when people dive into that, realizing that, hey, listen, the high, compared to the prior month, hires and separations changed little. It was basically the same. It's not showing a slowing in the hiring nature. We just got a lot of, a lot of inventory on the market, as they would call it in housing. All right. So yeah, I like this one. Let it roll back. Decent pop though. I mean, what do we get? 50 pips. I mean, it's got a 34 pip 4 hour ATR, so a little bit past, right? 1.5 times, not bad, right? Not the worst, right? Not the worst. Yeah, definitely not the worst. So we'll see. Yeah, I like this one in those turns and flips. And again, if you want to move the alert on this one, if you know when it's coming into the zone, all you got to do is take the alert and put it on this side. And what this will tell us is, hey, listen, we're testing those buyers again. Start looking for a base because remember, in a situation like this, if we come back down again and we start to base sideways here, what we're looking for is this, right? That's what we're looking for if we start to base before the zone. And again, with a hit like this, absolutely we could start seeing that base here. So it's one of those ones you don't want to wait till it passes because again, you may not be able to get back to it. So again, it's nice to know when it's there. But overall, I don't think that's a horrible position set up on that one. So looking for a potential drop, base at the level, and then punch lower. Pound yen. Much change here? Not really. A little bit whippy back and forth. And again, we hit the bottom this morning, 3 o'clock. We hit the bottom again. We knew we had buyers in there and punched higher up. And really all it did was found the sellers up here, right? Red, green, red level right in there. And that's what we try to play with right there at that 5:30 reversal time frame. So not bad. 5:30 reverse. We're still back in the middle. What's the difference here? 34. So considering it has 134 pip daily ATR, we're kind of sideways. So, honestly, it's an it was an old level. It was pretty deep. We've hit it. We've hit it again. I think one more push down is probably not bad. Again, we got the Harry Potter below here, a break below 184. Maybe one more would be decent, right? Again, we just need more conviction with this. You're conceding already. I mean, again, obviously the end's a proxy, but look at this, up and down, right? Up and down. Um, yeah, indices are trying to get positive. Isn't that funny? They're trying to get positive. Like NQ's positive, Russell's less than it was. What it was? Oh my God, there's a 500,000 less jobs, man. The labor market cooling off, man. We're dying, right? And yet it's going higher. I love the market sometimes. It's awesome. Dollar CAD, where are we at? Not much. You can see we had a little bit of reversal back, kind of a 2 p.m. where we talked about this yesterday. This is one of those ones where you may or may not have wanted to take this one. Once we started the base in here, in this level right here, I know it's hard to see. Let me move this to the side. Once you started getting this in here, you're like, oh, we got front run, we're basing. It's like, oh man, it's building buyers up right there. It's going to be hard to get back. Typically, what you like to see is kind of a clean entry. Like this is a clean entry down. This is a clean entry up. When it starts to form that base before the level, you're like, oh, wait a second. Why is it going back and forth? There's buyers building there. And that's what happened. It hit and came back. It hit and came back. Hit and came back. Found those buyers, and that's what punched it through. So it's one of those hard ones. Had you got into this position, you would have been up, I don't know, about 18 pips and then probably got stopped out at break even. And has it really changed? Nah, I mean, it kind of tried to Harry Potter off the backside, but, it's backstopped a little bit. So, again, dollar CAD's been a little bit more challenging to play. I mean, really right now, we have a red, we have a green that did not go as high, and we have a red. If it closes right now, technically it should continue to go lower, right? This is the confirmation for a trend train. But we have an area buyer sitting right there that's confirmed. So is there really a lot of room to run for this one? Not really. Not really. And where it's turning, I would say, if anything, again, you probably, worst case scenario, you got stopped out of break even on that one. And again, this base here, again, you hate to see that. You're like, just go up smooth, right? Go up smooth. It didn't do it. Um, I'd say, if anything, right now, I actually kind of like the top of this more than the bottom. Look at this right here. Whoops. Hello. Come on, mouse. I actually don't mind the top of that one, right? Again, kind of choppy, right? Kind of choppy. But when you have, I love three. Typically, I like it when it's the red one. But whenever we can form a triangle in anything, right? There's shapes in here, right? I don't know. Probably not clean. Yeah, right. Whenever you can form something like that, right? Right. Whenever you can form things like that, shows you there's buyers there, right? Sorry, I was like, it just doesn't look like I like. Just give me the regular. That one's okay, right? I'm looking for that. You get a triangle up there like that one. I like that one. Those are pretty nice. Now, again, I don't care. It's a 78. There's nothing really to help that one. Again, it's dollar weakness. Seeing it come in, it probably rolls back again. The reality of this one is it's only got about 13 pips before it runs into buyers on the opposite side. So, I think you got to be careful with it. And it is what it is. All right. Um, drama. 670 or 135.70. See it pulling back. See it running into those guys. Here, here, here. See how it's pulling back? That emotional response is out. Look, it's about to not. Well, it's got 20 minutes, but it's about to ruin itself up here. So it is getting some crude strength. Oh, it's too much. Yeah, I mean that's this right here should also be a weakness based trade, right? So with that said, since that's 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, question is how much weakness can we get into this one right now, right? In time to play a pop for tomorrow, right? People are expecting that's going to be negative. They're not changing. They're not talking. They're not cutting interest rates, obviously. But are they going to talk about cutting and potentially being passed? And again, everybody's comments now are pretty weak, right? For a while, it was like if you didn't raise your week. Now it's if you if and you held it for week. Not that you need to cut to be weak at this point, but just the comment that you could be cutting. So the question is, do we run in and do we start setting up? Whoops, not that one. My bad. My bad. Oh, that's PM. Wait, what? How? Is it what 10 tomorrow? Yeah, 10. Not mark that one. Oh, that is 10. Why did they mark? Oh, you know what? There's two of them there. There must be two. All right. I was like, wait, what? I was like, how is the see, it's showing IVPMI. It's not showing this. It's like there's multiple things there. Instead of popping them all up, it's just giving me the IVPMI. So yeah, I'd be looking for a pop off this one because I think there's going to be some high level of weakness. Question is, do we get all the way down here? Do we play in here? Or are we going to be poised higher? And will this give us a chance to punch through this 136.30 range? So we'll see. See where this one closes. I just don't think this one has a lot of legs in there. I think there's better opportunities out there and seeing that pullback. What is that Aussie one doing? Yeah, look, it's almost all the way back down. So yeah, um, there's your pushback down again. So you're already up like 20 pips on that one as the emotional response is gone. Just putting it here so you guys can see it. All it needs to do is break basically the lows at the bottom, right? So yeah, there's your emotional response. So we got dollar Swiss. And dollar Swiss is close. Oh, it did actually hit it. My bad. Yeah, so it hit. We had drawn this before, right? We talked about it coming off this level and it pushed a little bit higher. It came up, it grabbed it, Is it going to change the trajectory of this one? Not so much. I mean, this one's pretty supported here, although I would say the zone here at 87.19, 87.20 is probably worn out. Um, Probably the 87.06 at the bottom is probably a little bit better of an area. Um, eh, yeah, I think we're probably due for more sideways move than this one. I don't really love the top here. I mean, again, we here. Again, two front ones. We hit it again, and again, kind of one of the weaker ones. How much did it move? Let's see. Yeah, it moved 29. So I mean, it moved a 4-hour ATR to the downside. Um, there's obviously still some sellers sitting in that area. Is it a strong trade? Not so much. Um, I don't know. Yeah. That's 3 days ago. Yeah. Dollar falls on dovish remarks by Fed's Pow, and yet it's almost back up to 104. I love the time it is in these articles. I think we're probably due for sideways. I don't really love anything right now inside of dollar Swiss. Not necessarily a setup that I'm looking for. Dollar yen, again, we're still basically sideways. What move? How much? Yeah, 24. You know, pip an hour. And you can see big spike down, and we're retracing back up again. We know we obviously have a basing here, but because of this wick, not really a trade setup. It did hit it yesterday at 1 o'clock and then push back down. But we're more sandwiched in. Really, I think at this point for me, um, I think we have clean sells up top. Again, we're looking for the 146 to be hit and kind of stabilize itself and potentially provide a reversal area. Even with all the dollar strength, and we have the Dixie going higher, this is just more or less stabilized sideways. So not, you know, not the ideal spot. Um, eh, fine. I don't really love much on this one. I think we got to wait top and bottom. And again, we know we have this level here, but one, two, front run on three. It's okay. It's okay. Um, is what it is. It's fine. Um, no, there's just not much else in there that I like. I'm like, I mean, this one's been banged around. I think, yeah, I think we really need to wait for 146. Let's take this one off. There's sellers there, but I'm just gonna remove it. 2, 3. Ugh. A lot of room to go. Yeah, it's 142 pips, so it would need something earth shattering. Maybe we get it here. So funny. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, they're getting smoked," but yet average hourly earnings, people are going to be making more money. The employment change is positive. Unemployment rate is not changing, and the consumer sentiment. There was an adjustment higher last time, and it's supposed to go even higher this time. So I don't know. That dude's stuck on the. We're going to do 10 things, or five cuts. I don't know, man. I really don't know. Let's see what we got for oil. So overall with oil, you see oil drove down at 8:30, and you say, okay, what happened at 8:30? Whoops. Nothing much. Nothing much. It's just the U.S. market coming online. We tend to see oil go higher when the U.S. comes online. It tends to be more of a bullish market for that. We saw the weakness in the overnight, right? 4 o'clock down, U.S. trader came online. We pushed back up again. I don't think the trajectory has really changed too much. You can see right now we're where the 23.6 is now. I still think the 74.65 is a better short, but is there sellers in here? Absolutely, 100% there is. Again, you're seeing basing in here. Um, the only thing that's holding this up right now is really the OPEC comments. Um, you know, the comments of Saudi Arabia talking about more cuts and stabilizing, and again, everybody's like, how the heck can they cut more, right? Well, I don't know. I mean, at one point, you have portfolio managers saying that we're going to go into a recession, which would back up what Saudi Arabia is saying. I don't mind cheaper gas. I'm not gonna lie. I like it when it's $3 or below. I'm okay with that, right? I'm not trying to convert the truck into an EV yet. Um, although although I do want to go test drive one. I'm not gonna lie. I do want to test drive one of the EV Hummers. Um, do want to go test drive one because I heard they're super fast, especially for a truck that huge. Um, but yeah, and I don't know, guys. Every day now, I must because I opened that one. I watched that one video on the bullet, the bullets in the Cybertruck. I'm getting like nonstop messages now about Cybertrucks. Elon has not asked me to buy one yet. Thankfully, he's not asking for a deposit. I'm not going there. I did watch a review on a guy that did finally receive one. He said the steering is surprisingly well. He's like, it sort of shocked him on how well it did. They took my advice. Elon listens to the program too. I guess there's an option for a solar powered cover. Um, Basically, you can help recharge the battery. It doesn't do a lot, but it's a cover that you put on the car that's solar panels that will recharge your battery. I'm like, man, didn't I say that months ago? Like, give me like I'll get a solar car, but I'm gonna put things on the top so I don't have to people are pissed. It's like the same thing as like how like in places it's illegal to collect rainwater to put on your yard. Like it comes from the sky. How is it illegal? Like is it illegal for me to breathe air now? Right? It's like the same thing, right? The industry is like, how dare you put solar panels on the top of a car and not pay money? I want my taxes. It's the same thing. But yeah, supposedly that's like an option that there's there or it's coming or something like that. But yeah, you will have a cover to put on your Cybertruck, right? That will recharge your battery so you don't need to go to the fill station. Again, common sense. Yeah, but leave it to Elon. But yeah, so I'm not converting it yet. So we're at 1% right now. I think selling at 74.65 is a decent spot. Again, finding these buyers down here, we marked them off yesterday. It did go a little bit lower this morning, but then the U.S. trader stepped in and saved it. And some of this I think is justified. Again, OPEC Plus, you can say what you want. I mean, we tried to destroy Russia. A year later, they're not destroyed and they're still in control. And now Saudi Arabia is even more on their side than they were before because of the U.S. Yeah, I think there's opportunities for buys here, but I think overall, yeah, I think there's some geopolitical events that could lead this higher, but for the most part, I think where we are, I think a lot of the drama is gone. The only thing that really messes with this, again, if we start having lockdowns or something like that where we shut things off, that's obviously a big fundamental change. But right now, I think it's just geopolitical comments back and forth are going to balance it back and forth. So we shall see. Overall, though, less job openings. You say, well, that's less people working. We'll get that non-farm data this week. If less people are working and more people, that will actually move this around because it changes the demand, right? Natural gas. What did somebody say? Here, 1 hour ago, natural gas trading higher earlier as mild weather continues in most states. And what do we see? Right? So here, I don't understand this. It's trading higher as mild temperatures continue, right? Yesterday, it dropped after mild temperatures. Like, yeah. We were actually calling for this to go lower because of those mild temperatures. So I got the news right. I just got the movement wrong. We talked about a chop and a hit and came back and chopped. It ended just stabilizing itself and then punched higher. So yeah, I assumed that we would continue to get mild temperatures and we would get the fall. But I guess today mild temperatures are raising it again. So it just goes to show you, is it cold weather that makes it go higher? Is it the milder temperatures? Obviously, milder temperatures in some states is bad for natural gas. Yeah, you not using your natural gas is going to make the price go higher, allegedly. So, yeah. Again, I'm cool with where natural gas is right now. I think this is a good mine. We talked about it yesterday morning. And again, yesterday we tagged that area right at 10 o'clock and then came back and grabbed it at 12:30. We had drawn that off this kind of old gap area. And it just goes to show you, even with contract rollovers, like why is there a gap here? Because there was the contract rollover, right? Right here. We had the contract switch. Magically, like why was that a level? Right? What did that mean? Well, it was an area where there's a great imbalance in price. It just goes to show you so much of this is so technical. And that was literally the turning point for yesterday morning. So we talked about it rallying up, and it did. It rallied up even more, I guess, because again, mild temperatures lead to an increase in natural gas. Gold. Um, Gold is not skyrocketing. Gold did not hear that news. Gold did not hear the news at what 10 o'clock, and gold did not do this. I wonder why that happened. Right? Shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't the dollar be? I mean, holy crap, we're going to cut 5 times next year. Nope, nope. Gold is again, emotional response pushing back down. Yesterday we talked about looking for targets down here at 215, and oops, I wanted that, but I didn't want the news there. 221. It looks like the low today was at 215.60. So we talked about getting down there, and we even said look for shorts below 231. Right? Look for those Harry Potters. Now we did have a level we were looking for a pullback. Unfortunately, there was your basing. It missed it by a little bit. And if I continues across, you can see, look, it covers the whole thing. There was a short trade in this one this morning, and it came in at 3 o'clock with the European Open. Again, we had red, greens, and reds coming in, kind of giving us a confirmation. Sloppy as it was, it did push back down. But yesterday we talked about targets down here at 215. That's exactly what we ran into. So, overall, now that we've breached the 215 and pushed back up again, there is a big area that it's got to kind of grind through, and the grind kind of is crappy. Um, Look for a push down. I think 2000 could potentially be in the next 24 hours as it pushes back down. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. We got this crazy spike, and everyone's like, oh my God, all time highs. It's awesome. And now we've pulled all the way back down, and we're playing with that 2000 mark. So, again, I don't think the data today really, again, I don't think it was really a weak dollar sign. And the non farm payroll data looks good this week. So, again, everyone's saying we have to do cuts because we're going to go into the recession. But right now, it doesn't look like we're there yet. Um, if anything, I think we start to get, again, like I said, I understand why a lot of these people out there are talking about recessions are so bad. And again, I get it. Going into a presidential election, you don't want to be going into a recession that is quite bad. But at the same time, if inflation goes higher, I mean, Biden already has. I mean, his views on how he's handling the economy is extremely negative. It's what's hurting him the most right now. If they get it wrong, the party doesn't stand a chance. So, yeah, kind of a hard situation. So, yeah, there's some politics involved with that one. But I think 2000's on the cards. What do we got for silver? Wow, silver going down. And look, it kind of did the same thing, right? There's where the push is right now, kind of where the 23 is. And there's basings. You could have actually taken the short at 8:30 this morning. Not bad, right? But we're about to breach. The alert hasn't gone off yet, but we were talking about, hey, listen, get some basing in here. Unfortunately, it did base above and pulled back up, and there was a level here you could have adjusted. I mean, this is the level we talked about yesterday. Looking for a clean break, you would have had to use that as your basing level. In which case, had you used that one, um, yeah, it came in at 12 o'clock is where the base came in above that level. It just went off. I don't know if you guys heard it, but it just dinged in my ear. My phone went off, and I got two email alerts. Look at that. It rallied back up for this morning, grabbed that same level, which also happened to be close to the 23.6. And we just punched lower. And what is silver doing? Taking off. Wow, it seems like the exact opposite of what most people would assume. So, yeah, was a short trade. Is there another short trade? Yeah, if we can get a base in here, look for this to drop down. But we mentioned yesterday, if we can break this, look for 24 to come into play. And we are 14 cents, 15 cents from 24 again. Seems crazy when yesterday we were talking about this area up top. And again, we love some of these levels in here, and it did. It just we had to make the adjustments because we didn't have the levels yet for yesterday. So yeah, let's see overall what the indices look like this morning. Let's see what VIX is doing real quick. Yeah, any surprises, craziness in there? Nope. Has it changed much? It went down a little bit. What's the dollar doing? Look at that. Dollar rallied back and is kind of stabilizing there and trying to start to get positive again. Big emotional response. Found the buyers down here. And again, if you were going to draw that one, you would have had to do it really, really kind of there, right? You could have shortened it a little bit to there, right? And either one wouldn't matter whether it was there or there. The top of this is the same here, 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 and here, all the same. So you can see hit and bounce, and we're kind of not quite where we were beforehand, but before the build up. Let's see what we got in the S. Any surprise in this one? Let's see. Um, it's 11 o'clock yesterday. You know, so you may say, okay, well, here's the overnight tracking, right? Yeah, but if you look back, they are tracking and just confirming off of yesterday's bottom. And again, yesterday's bottom was at 10:30. Imagine that. Surprise. Um, could you have traded this one? Let's see, 9:15. Yeah, it was okay. Right? We were playing in here. If anything, I would say the 8:30 kind of drove it down. We were sitting in a level. I mean, here's the 9:15 candle. 9:30 is actually this one here, but you got to be looking at this at 9:15, saying, okay, what's happening here? If anything, I'd say, yeah. I mean, there's confirmations in the overnight. The level was actually from yesterday morning, but you're not going to use this level, and that was a level in again. It was a confirmation in the overnight session, in the European session. So overall, you could have taken this one. It was close. It's not the ideal. I mean, it was like not the it's not the picture perfect. I'm not putting it in the book type thing. Um, but again, it's a nice move. I don't think it's the wrong move either. Had you taken it, there's 1.18. You can see it's well past. I don't, it's way over 1 to 3. It's a decent trade setup. I wouldn't have been worried about the top side because again, this is a strong level that's had some support. There may have been a target that you were worried about coming in, sitting up there, right? Sitting up there. But with the fact that this drove down before the news, it's kind of like, yeah, you're kind of looking for that reversal play to come in. And was it going to hold? Maybe he didn't take it because of the profit target on that side. It's been a lot of time there and kind of tested. But I would say, if anything, the test is kind of more, I don't know, I guess kind of here, right? If I box it off, I would say, listen, there's kind of more the basing, and there's the confirmation, which is also close to the 1 to 3. So maybe you made it a 1.275 or something like that. But it went well past. It went well past. NQ, same thing. And again, you could have actually used the 3 p.m. on this one. This one's a little farther away where, see how this one, the bottom of this here was actually in this zone? Here, the bottom of this one was not really in this zone. So had you used it here, this is absolute opening print. It formed itself at the European Open. It confirmed in the overnight, and then we punched right back down there at 9:15 hit, and kind of the same thing. There you go. I mean, everything was red. There's 1 to 3. Yesterday, you can see we came back up, and it looks like we hit it at 12:45 and pushed down. It's okay. I mean, like there's where the wick over wick was. Maybe you took that. It was kind of sloppy trade. I don't even know. Let's see. 1 to 3 is right there. So yeah, actually, it did get out. So there's your 12:15 trade on the pullback. Now it went way down. You may not have wanted to take this one. It's fine. And again, it turned and rolled from that area again. So it is what it is. We can pull it off. We don't need it right now. So yeah, end of the world? No, not really. Not really. Decent trade at the open. Where do we go with this now? Honestly, such a big push up again. I wouldn't be surprised if this one wants to turn. Looks like it's trying to go higher. No sellers coming in until we get really up until this point right here. So not bad. YM, what do we have here? Let's move this off. YM had a level, but let's see. 9:15. Honestly, this is the opposite direction, right? There's your 9:15 rode up. There's your 9:30. There's not really a confirmed level here in the overnight. There was one up top. You could have said it's kind of there, right? I would say probably there's more the level you're looking for in a pullback, as well as you had the black line from the 3600. So, with it driving down into this at 9 o'clock, this is nothing in the overnight. This is yesterday morning's trade setup, right? So the only thing that was based and confirmed in the overnight was here, and then it drove up. 9:15 drove us right into that zone. So this one is more of a short, right? Again, having a whole number there, and 1 to 3 is sitting right there. So yeah, this was yesterday's trade. The 9:15. Yeah, this was yesterday's trade. Actually, this 10:30 reversal from yesterday morning. Yeah, 10:45, 11 o'clock. And we said this parabolic move, parabolic retracement. So yeah. So today, I mean, this is not the weakest, but overall, not a bad little trade setup to the downside. First two were longs. This is a short. So I mean, that's kind of 3 for 3. 9:15. Nothing confirmed in the overnight. It's basically the same level. I guess you could have made a case on that one. Okay. So on this one, you could say, well, wait a second. There you go. Look, there's your confirmation, Brian. You went long this one. No, because you know what happened? The 9 and the 9:15. What did they do? They base before the level, right? They base before the level. So typically when you see that, it doesn't go well. Now it did drop. It did do a Harry Potter. So I would say of the four, this is the one that, although you could have probably said, hey, listen, this one's going to be short. Not really clean yet. It came down, came back up, and used that old level. But with a base right here, you would have been waiting for this one on this move. After push down, you would have been waiting for it to come up to go back down again. It did. It just didn't give it the entry here at 10 o'clock. It was sitting down here. So overall, if this thing turns negative, this is the weakest pair of the day. Eh. Is this justified to go lower? In all honesty, I mean, Russell's going to be the most sensitive to this whole thing, to interest rates. If this is such bad data, right? If this is just so bad for the dollar, right? Oh my God, look at that. Look at, they got to stop. They're going to put us into a recession, right? Typically, if it's going to be a weak dollar move, you would see this. Okay, they're going to keep us from going to a recession. They're going to go higher. They're getting pretty negative on this, right? I mean, services is expanding, which is awesome for Russell, but yet it's being overwhelmed. Oh, look, now there's an adjustment. Yeah, so they did do the adjustment. See? Every time. Didn't I just say that? it's so weird that there was no adjustment. So it actually, again, it came in almost as forecasted. There wasn't. See how that? I love this. Look at this. It missed it by point 0.1. It's like, ooh. But even so, it was expected to be 3-4. They were expecting to drop down. It did drop down a little bit, which again, not a bad thing. This one, quite a big jump down. So I have a feeling there's going to be an adjustment higher next time. I'd be surprised otherwise. But yeah, I am surprised that Russell's being this negative. Again, it is what it is. Yeah, look, see, it's trying. It's trying to go back up again. So, where's that Aussie position? Yeah, it's trying. Right, came all the way up, grabbed it, and is now making another push back down again. So, it's not taking itself all the way out yet, though. Not there yet. Close, close. So we'll see. All right, well that's it for today. Let's go ahead and do our drawing. I'll give you guys till 2:30 to get in. Again, tomorrow morning we have the ADP non-farm change, also important. Again, 126 is good. Anything that comes in above that, I think, is great. The fact that we missed so much may actually show that this is higher. I do think the BOC data, I think, again, we'll talk from now to then, but I think those are going to be good shorts. Again, nobody's really in the raising cycle anymore. It's just kind of like, well, when are you going to, how weak is it and when are you going to cut? And again, I think it's the same thing. I think all these are just giving us, ways to potentially find shorts. So that's what I'm looking for. Oh, here you go. Hold on. We got one. Rate cuts not expected in the short term. Sees no more rate hikes. Yeah. Again, ECB behind everybody else. Decisions dependent upon data. So, yeah. Yeah. Again, nobody's raising anymore, right? But it says not in the short term, but that doesn't mean much. So, all right. All right, let's get into the giveaway. Let's close this sucker down. Winner of today's drawing is Ernest takes it. Ernest took it with 10. See, Neuro, you done screwed up. You done screwed up, Neuro. It was not lost to me last week that you did 6 3 times. It was not lost to me, Neuro, but you done screwed up with this 4 thing. What is this 4 thing? You can't do 4. You know how this game works. You know how this game works. Ernest, where the heck are you going? Ernest is going for broke. Ernest was at the top, but he's been testing this new system. I don't believe it's working. Right? You know why it's not working, Ernest? Because you come here for 2 days and then you don't show up for the 3rd win. You need to sweep it all the way across. Gotta sweep it. Gotta sweep it. Shows you cannot bully the system. Pip chips cannot be bullied. All right, with that, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. With that, I'm out of here. Catch you guys later. Have a good one.